All right, so thank you very much for subscribing to Seraph TV. This is a channel that focuses on building the youth and students in general, guiding them, providing nuggets of wisdom to them practically. This is not it's not just motivational speeches or preaching, or no, that's not what we seek to do. What we seek to do is to share experiences with the youth, share experiences with students, and based on what we have gone through and what we have learned, and be a blessing to you as you also strive to achieve in life and make a mark and make an impact in this world. And that is what we aspire to do. This edition, I'll be just taking that animal we call the eagle and sharing with you certain characteristics about the eagle that has been an amazing, has been a blessing to me, and I believe that it would also bless you. In fact, the day I read about this, very common things that we know, it really inspired me, and it has guided me in every step I take. The eagle is a bird that we all know. The eagle flies in the sky. We see the eagles and all that, but maybe you have not taken trouble to learn about the eagle and look at the characteristics of the eagle, but I have. And I believe that it has been a blessing to me, and I know it would also touch. I mean, the eagle is mentioned and talked about so much. There's so much literature about the eagle. I believe that you would also want to find time and read and perhaps learn one or two things about the eagle, because it will go a long way. For young people, young students, for students, for boys and girls, there are so many things that we can learn from the eagle, and I want to share them with you. Now, the first attribute about the eagle that I find fascinating is that eagles don't fly with other birds. Eagles only fly with eagles. Now, anytime you identify an eagle somewhere and you will find any other bird close by, it will be another eagle. Eagles fly with eagles. Why? And what can we learn from that? Now, listen, if you want to be an eagle, you must learn to fly with other eagles. Eagles don't fly with other birds because they simply don't gel. They simply don't have the same attitude and attribute. Eagles only want to fly with eagles. Listen, if you want to be a successful person in life, if you want to be an achiever in life, move with people with like-mindedness like you, people who think like you, people who talk like you, people with the same ambition and vision like you. Say, oh, person, we obi awa achieve in life. And in nipa, omo dream to say wo, omo nyoma omo ye to say wo, omo a vision, and omo nyoma nyina aye pe. Said ye be ya we to anamo ana we aso we mu, na mu nyina mu push mo ho to that to the limit. If you move with people who have different vision and foresight and focus like you, what happens is that either they convert you or you will convert them. Now, so when you say be and free eagle more, and I say eagle more, why here not over the regret? The reason is that eagles only fly with eagles. Be an eagle and find another eagle and fly with that eagle. As you make mistakes, you are correcting yourself. As one is flying higher, one is pushing the other. As one is moving to a step, the other one is challenging you to also move that step. Eagles only fly with eagles. Find an eagle and fly with that eagle. Don't fly with any other bird who doesn't speak your language. It will not help you, or it would affect you negatively. Now, again, eagles are not meant to be caged. You see, it's hardly can you find a caged eagle. You can find other birds that have been caged and that have been caught and caged and used as pets and all that. But how many times do you find an eagle caged? Listen, eagles cannot be caged. Now listen, if you are an eagle, nobody can cage your vision. Nobody can limit your vision. Nobody can bring you down. Why? Because you have an eagle mentality. And the reason is that because you are an eagle, you are always pushing yourself. You are always embracing the challenges. You are always fighting to push yourself to the limit. You are not giving up. You are living with an eagle mentality that says that I cannot be caged. My vision cannot be caged. My ambition cannot be caged. What I aspire to be cannot be caged. Nobody can bring me down. Yes, you can challenge me. Yes, you can bring me down. But I tell you, I will always rise up and go for the ultimate. Eagles cannot be caged. Be an eagle and don't let anything cage you. Because listen, poverty can cage your vision. There can be limitations from your family background. There can be limitations from a lot of places and a lot of things and all that. But when you are an eagle, those things don't limit you. They don't cage you. They rather push you to become who you want to be. Again, eagles have great vision and sees very far. When you read about eagle, one thing you identify is that when an eagle is at a point in the air, they are able to see so far. And for instance, if they find a prey, they zoom in directly to where the prey is and they go for it. Eagles have vision and focus and see very far. Listen, if you want to be an eagle, have a vision, have a focus. Yeah, it's important you realize that if you want to be successful in life, vision, focus, foresight, very important element. Now, if you have this eagle mentality, your vision, your focus, and your foresight is not short-sighted. Focus, vision was so far. And at times people are wondering, hey, now the way I was doing, the way I different. Yeah, that's how you have to be. Have a very, very big vision, big focus, and always see far. If you are an eagle or if you have an eagle mentality. Eagles feed only on live animals. One fascinating thing about the eagle is that they don't feed on things that are dead. They don't feed on carcasses. Listen, if you want to be a successful person in life, feed your mind on things which are alive, things that brings life to you, things that ignite you, things that resurrect something in you, things that are alive, not on carcasses. Feed your mind on things that are alive. What do I mean by that? See, when others are feeding their minds on things that are not helpful to them, you are reading a storybook, you are reading about something, you are researching into something, you are reading about things that is widening your thinking and your scope, you are getting knowledge about people, you are asking questions, you are probing. Feed your mind on things that are alive, that will add value to you and will not distract you. That is what the eagle does. They only feed on things that are alive. Again, eagles love the storm. One fascinating thing about the eagle is that when all other animals are running away from the storm, when the storms are coming and all the other animals are running away for shelter, the storms rather attract the eagle. The storms rather ignites a certain passion in the eagle. What do I mean by that? Now, this is what happens. The eagle is able to find a certain frequency or a certain wavelength as it flies. Now, along the line, in the midst of a storm, they are able to leverage on the storm, and now they don't even need to flap their wings again. The storms carries them, and so you will see an eagle flying, and the eagles is not once struggling and flapping the wings to be able to fly. Rather, the eagle is enjoying the storm, and it is the storm that is carrying the eagle to all the heights. Wow, that's beautiful. What that means is that if you are an eagle and you have eagle mentality, the things that break people down are the very things that inspire you. The things that kills people are the very things that gives life to people. The thing that discourages people are the very things that encourage you. The things that set people giving up are the very things that rather ignites you. Listen, be an eagle. Love the storm. Embrace the storm. Don't run away from storms. When storms are coming and you run away from it, it means that you are not an eagle. Because in life, you cannot avoid storms. Won't me avoid storms or problems? The challenges will come, the difficulties will come, the problems will come. But if you are an eagle, what you do is that you rather embrace the storm. You accept the reality of it, deal with it, overcome it, learn lessons from it, and move on. And one day you look back and you are sharing that story with people who as it were, have not gone through it. Love the storm if you are an eagle. Now again, eagles test before they trust. As same way, say because school be and I meet students be, I want to share with them. Eagles test before they trust. There's something fascinating about the female eagle. Anytime the male eagle wants to mate with a female eagle, the female eagle will take the male eagle through test. It is after the male eagle has overcome or conquered those tests, or as it were, successful, that is when the female eagle would allow the male eagle to sleep with it or to mate with it. Now, isn't that awesome? An animal is able to test before it trusts. The reason the eagle does that is that the eagle wants to find if the male eagle is man enough or male enough, responsible enough to mate with it. Now, if you are a young, beautiful girl, why don't you test before you trust? Why do you give your trust to a young man who doesn't know his destination? Why do you trust somebody you meet for the first time? You don't know the man or the guy from anywhere, and simply you just trust the person. You are trusting the person with your life, and that is a recipe for disaster. If the eagle can test before it trusts, as a human being, you should be able to do better. As a young man, you should be able to test before you trust any lady. As a young man, you should be able to test people and know that they have the same vision and ambition with you. They have the same focus like you, and that they are able to move on with you and share in your successes. Listen, if you find somebody who, as it were, you really didn't test, you really didn't find any value, all you did is jump on the person and straight away you are into some relationship. Listen, the eagle is doing better than you because the eagle is able to test before it trusts. Learn to test before you trust. If it is a relationship, learn to test before you trust. If it is life, learn to test before you trust. If it is work, learn to test before you trust. If it is business, learn to test before you trust. Don't just trust people because people are not trustworthy and they will disappoint you. Test before you trust. All right, so the last point I want to share with you guys is something that I find very fascinating. Eagles go through painful experience to be able to prolong their life. Now, that's one thing that you may not know. Eagles live to about 70 years. But when the eagle gets to around 50 years, it must go through a certain painful experience to be able to prolong their life. What happens is that the eagle at that point in time is becoming weak. The feathers are weak. It is not able to fly again. If the eagle wants to prolong their life, it must fly to a mountainous location. When it goes over there, it will use its beak to remove all the feathers from the body. It will be bleeding. Then the eagle will hit the rocks with the beak so that the beak will also be broken. And then the eagle will lie there painful and there's blood all over. And then once it goes through this experience, new feathers will begin to develop. New beak will begin to develop. And when the eagle is able to get the feathers and the fresh beak and all that, it is able to prolong its life by 20 years. Now listen, what can we learn from that? This is very fascinating. Listen, if you do not learn to do away with things that are inimical to you, it will bring you down. It will kill you. It will destroy you. If the eagle must do away with some of these attributes or some of these things to be able to prolong its life, you as a human being must be able to do away with certain characteristics, certain attitudes, certain lifestyles, certain things you do to be able to prolong your life, to be able to prolong your business, to be able to prolong the things you do. You must be able to shed or do away with certain things, certain bad habits, certain things that are not good. Do away with them, build your life, and it will prolong your life. These are certain attributes that we have learned from the eagle, and I believe if it has helped me in life, it will help you in life. My name is Sarah, and keep watching Sarah TV on YouTube. Subscribe and share, and I believe that it will be a blessing to. And if this has been a blessing to you, why don't you share with a student or a youth you know? Because I believe that it will help the individual to be able to build a better life like the eagle. Thank you very much.